Hi, I'm Shane.
I'm Leanne.
And this is the Tote. This is what you saved.
Almost 1 year on.
Almost 1 year on. We're here to answer some questions for you because we know you have plenty. And it's very bright out here.
It's chilly,
It's
but
chilly
it's bright.
and bright. But anyway. So I think we ended up being $250,000 short on bringing in from the actual campaign, which is no problems. Like, that's fine. Like, people's financial circumstances change, and we understand that. We're not upset that was the way it ended up. We're grateful that we ended up making the target. So, but it has had a flow-on effect that we haven't been able to get. We've been paying for all the merch. So every dollar that we got went to the purchase. So we've been paying for the merch fulfillment, which is the labour costs involved, which is quite heavy, and all the packaging and all the
and the renos.
And the renos that we had to do, but outside of that, we're paying for the postage and everything, and that's coming out of the operating budget of the Tote and the Last Chance,
Which is minimal.
It's like we were going okay there because we didn't order any merch until we actually got the keys to the venue, because we didn't want to end up in a position where the sale didn't go through. We'd spent all this money on merch, and then we were holding a heap of merch, and then we had to give all the money back, because we just wanted to give, like, we didn't want to be in that position where we wrecked our life, essentially, by not having the merch.
The sale took a long time.
The sale did take a really long time. It took a lot longer than what we thought.
We knew it would take a long time, but it took a lot longer even than that.
Yeah, so, and I'll be honest, if anyone is in hospitality or knows anyone in hospitality, it's probably been the worst 8 months, probably longer now, probably 10 months that we've ever had. So really, since Christmas, it's been the worst. We've actually gone down, so we're not actually making that much money, and any money that we do make is going towards, emergency shit that breaks that we have to fix. Obviously doing normal business stuff and paying the bills. And, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to send people's merch out. We're doing it. We're just doing it when we can afford to do it, which is tough. And I know that we've sent out emails and stuff explaining this, but, some people might not have seen them, but we're not going anywhere. Your merch is coming. It's, at the moment, the more money the businesses make, the more we can send out. And it's a thing that we will do. Like, we don't give up. If anything, kind of people have noticed over the 8 years that we've been at Last Chance or anything, we get there in the end, and it's just taken us a long time, and we do feel horrible about it. I wish that I had the money just to go and do it straight away, but the big picture is that we've got to, saving the Tote didn't end when that target was reached. The building itself needs a lot of work, and it's something that we've got to do. Like, this is going to be an ongoing process for us for
the rest of our lives.
And it's not something, we're not here, we don't take a wage from the Tote. We actually, surprisingly, not to get personal or anything, but the wage we make from the Last Chance, it goes directly back to the Tote. So I think we get paid on average about once every 5 or 6 weeks. So, we'd earn more money on the dole. Like, we literally give everything we have back to making sure that we can pay for electricians and plumbers and everything else. So,
which is fine.
It's fine.
That's why we do this.
And that's why we do it. We don't do it for, we're
not doing this to be rich.
No. If we were, we wouldn't do this. If we wanted to make money, I'd be in a different business. It's about having the bands on stage and having the place for them to come. So I understand people's frustration when they say, hey, I gave X amount of money, where's my fucking T-shirt? I'm like, you know what? I know how you feel, because I kind of, like, a lot of days I ask myself the same fucking question. And, I give and Leanne gives, which I feel terrible about because, you know, I kind of drag Leanne along on these fucking crazy things that I do. And she sacrifices more than anyone knows. Like, being paid like minimal wage once every...
At our age,
once every 5 or 6 weeks, and having to ring your parents and go, hey, can I borrow some money so I can pay the rent or buy food? It's not great. You know, it's embarrassing for me. And, you know, it's embarrassing that we aren't in a position to send all the merch out, but we're getting there and we're not going anywhere. We're here. Your merch is coming, 100%.
More is in production right now.
More is in production right now, and we're doing it as we can afford it. You know, and it's a lot. It's like we're given a lot, and I know that other people have given a lot, and I appreciate that. But of course, you know, we hope that people do remember why they donated, and we hope that you know, it wasn't just for the t-shirt, because, you know, it's a lot more than that. You know, it's about keeping this place going, and keeping this place going.
It's for the people like the guy I spoke to on the weekend who, I don't know, I shouldn't really bother saying that. But his band played here. Now his son's band plays here.
Yeah, it's about that. You know, we're not scamming anyone. We're not going to... We're sending the fuck shirts out. We're doing it when we can. We just hope that people can understand that. You know, it's stressful. It's not...
It's very stressful.
It's really stressful knowing that we're kind of in a position where, you know...
It makes me feel guilty, terrible. Yeah. But I also, on the other hand, know, because I wake up every single day and live this life of how... what we're going through, what we're doing.
Yeah, and you know, everyone that works for us is doing a great job.
Yeah.
And we're all doing our best to make sure that everything works. The reality is, it's going to take us time, and I'm hoping that by the end of the year we're done, if we have a really good run of shows and stuff. But, you know, like, winter was tough. We made a loss in winter, you know, so that's why that kind of dribbled out. But, yeah, they're coming, and I just hope that people didn't do it just for a t-shirt, you know, even though you'll get your t-shirt. You know, I hope people understand, you know, like, I have to do the same argument with myself. I'm like, why the fuck do I do this? And it's about making sure that these venues are here for bands and young people and everyone to come and enjoy. Being called like that we're scamming people, I mean, we've sent out over 50% of the t-shirts. I think if that's not an example of us trying to fulfill our obligation, you know, and the effect that it does have on our staff who are doing their very best to get it out, it's terrible. Like, they, you know, I mean, even, you know, people pull me up every week and go, you know, where's my fucking t-shirt? And then, you know, it goes, well, it's coming. You know, it does make, that negativity makes things a lot harder, you know, when
you're already trying really hard.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that was achieved with that campaign is the biggest thing in the world, and you know, it's done for all the right reasons, and everyone that works for us is doing the right thing, and you know, it's harder. You know, you want this thing to be a positive, and people turning a positive into a negative is tough. I don't know how else to say it. It's just fucking, you know, it's tough.
Yeah, because you don't want it to affect people walking through the door.
No, we don't want it to affect people walking through the door. We're trying to get as many people through the door as possible. You know, it's what we've got to do, because, you know, let alone, besides the merch having to be fulfilled from the income of these venues, it's the you know, it's everything else that needs to happen here. Like, this building is shit. It's not had anything done to it in 20 years. You know, we need a successful business for the next 10, 15 years just to pay for what needs to happen here. It's, you know, like, it's hard when we're trying to improve things and our operating budget's zero. Like, fucking tough. Like, the whole place needs rewiring. And that in itself is a job, you know, like, and that's not that has to happen. It's a,
Because that was the problem originally. Things did need to happen here,
yeah.
but they were just not fixed correctly.
Yeah, everything.
And we got to
was
fix
just
everything correctly.
patch upon patch upon patch, and you can't have that within a business. It's ridiculous. So, you know, we're trying to be positive moving forward with this place, and you know, the negativity just fucking drags you down, and it drags our staff down, and you know, I'm sure it drags everyone else down. So we just want people to understand that, you know, if t-shirts coming, I guarantee it. I'm working as hard and as much as I can to make that happen. We've got that many balls in the air that sometimes it feels like, you know,
It's overwhelming.
it is overwhelming. Like, you know, we want to do this for everyone out there. Yeah, don't forget, like, you know, patience is a virtue. Please don't forget that the reason we're doing this is for the future. It's for the rest of time. This building will be here doing what it does best and should be doing always. And that's an amazing thing. That's why everyone has done what they've done. So one of the things, like, I'm not across this. I run the pubs. But
I'm definitely not across
the
this.
communication thing is, I think that a lot of these things will come through this way. I think they're sending this out via SMS and via email. A lot of people have said, oh, we haven't got the email updates and stuff like that. So we're going to, like, email these through as and text message. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. And that's how we'll get it, because, you know, like, I don't even think I'm big at the emails. I don't know.
Oh, I'm terrible.
I don't have time to check my emails.
There's just too many of them.
There's yeah, it's really hard. So they're going to do it this way, so we know that you all see it, and that, you know, you're informed. Because, like, the lack of communication, I will bear that entire responsibility, only because it should be part of my job, and it is part of my job, and I've just dropped the ball on that. I kind of go from one catastrophe to the next, and a lot of shit gets pushed to the back of my head. So
I wouldn't even say you dropped the ball. It's like, it's just the weight of it is sort of, we get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of emails.
It's crushing.
Yeah, I do, and that's like across the board. Like, I get my phone gets on average 1,300 to 1,400 notifications per workday, which is a fucking lot.
And without a PA, we can't keep up.
Can't keep up.
I'd love to have
one. And then, you know, I don't know if anyone, like, we put in a lot, so just getting shit done. So, yeah, I apologise. I apologise for everything. You know, we're not scamming you. This is not a scam.
We're still here.
We're still here.
We're going to continue to be here.
That's right. And we will get you your t-shirts. I promise. I promised everyone we'd say for Tote, and I promise you I'll get you your t-shirts. I'm pretty dogged, and we don't give up, and we will always get things done. Sometimes it just takes longer, and I hope people can understand that. I really do. But thank you so much, everyone. Like, I don't think we've got around much to say thank you. I know it's kind of a curse, thank you, some days when I wake up, but what the community did is an amazing thing. And we really appreciate, from being a shithead that likes to go watch music, I appreciate what everyone did, because, you know, not that I get to watch bands much, I get about 5-10 minutes a weekend to see them. I fucking love it, and if it wasn't for what everyone got together and did, it would never have happened. So thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your criticism. I do take it on board, and just thank you. Like, this place is an amazing place. And
it's such a huge thing that everyone did.
It's massive, fucking huge. You know, and we are doing our best, and we will get there in the end. You know, I'm not going anywhere until everything is done. You know, Leanne's not going from Leanne might bloody throw me out of them in front of a bus.
We're going to keep working.
We're going to keep working our ass off, and you know, it's a lot, and we hope people that can understand that, and we hope that they can understand that the t-shirt is coming, or t-shirts or records, or you know, and that's it. Like, please remember that, you know, all live music venues are out there, and we're operating in a really tough situation.
I think that's important, isn't it?
Yeah,
every single venue is
venue.
really struggling.
So, you know, get out there and support them as much as what you can. Support the bands, because even the bands are struggling, you know. And remember that, I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss. I'm tired. But yeah, that's it. Like, remember why we did it. Remember that we will get you your t-shirt. I think that's it. I'm not sure. I think I probably muffled this.
That's all right.
Or muffed it, because yeah, I just hope people do get it, that we're not going anywhere until your t-shirts are done and this pub is
Saved properly.
saved properly. So basically, you know, we came into the Tote knowing that it was in pretty bad shape. When we've come in, we've probably discovered that it was in a way worse shape than we initially thought. It basically means that we've been making the venue safe. I mean, in the first week, we discovered that there was no boundary trap for any of the sewerage, and that basically it was just leaking up into nowhere. And then it would fill up and flood the front bar with raw sewage, which was a bit of a thing that you can't ignore. You have to fix it, you know, and you can't operate with those things happening. So electricals were up to shit. There was reverse polarity all upstairs. There's a lot of stuff that, if you've watched the Better Totes and Gardens stuff, you'll probably see a lot of this. A lot of it we've not put on, simply because it's, by the time we got around to filming all that stuff, we'd done the bulk of the real emergency stuff that had to be done. But basically, I think we've just been working. We haven't been doing anything else. Like, we don't work at the last chance anymore. We're literally in here all day. I think on average we work about 95 plus hours a week. Sometimes that hits me up to 110. I've done a few of them, which is a lot of hours, and that's what we do. I think we worked out a couple of weeks ago that in a year, because I keep a tab on the hours that we worked, in 1 year I worked 2 years and 4 months of a normal 40-hour work week. And yeah, that's kind of been the last 12 months for us. It's not been tough, which is, it makes it a lot harder knowing that it's a lot of drain on our life. We don't have a personal life, don't do anything. We come to work. So that's what we're doing, guys. That's it. And we keep coming across problem after problem after problem, and we keep fixing it. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. So this is happening pretty much in real time. This is one of the couple of 100 people that watch Better Totes and Gardens. This is the kitchen. We were hoping to get the kitchen done to actually help us make income in order to keep the business going and fulfill the obligations. It was fucked from the start. So this is actually where it's at. This is where it's at. It's cost us, we've done this on minimal budget. I mean, I think what we've done here, I've pretty much only paid labour costs and for the plumbers, who are great, who have done that, but it was just problem after problem. When we realised that there was yellow tongue, and then we pull it down, we realised that there was no plumbing, and you know, we've got to upgrade to get to the council regulations. So we put everything in. It basically just cost me a bit of electrical wire, electrician, a plumber at the moment. And that's why it's sitting like this, because I mean, in reality, I probably could have just did the kitchen, but it was costing us money and we weren't making money. So that's why it's sitting like that, you know. But it just led from problem to problem, because part of getting the kitchen going meant we discovered some shit that meant we had to rip the entire floor up. It was a problem. It's a major problem. So that's why this floor's here now. You can't operate without a floor. But now we've actually got the plumbing done. So now it's just a matter of waiting until we get a lot of the t-shirts out and then we can finish the kitchen off, which is kind of not the way I planned it, but yeah, it's pretty much just that. If we go through to the band room, I don't know how many people have ever seen this part of it, but if you see this shit here, all this is literally from water damage. It's on the stage as well. So this is how fucked up of a place we've walked into. I think this is an example. If you have a look here, the water would come down. That's the gutter there. You'd come down, hit here.
A hole in the roof still. There's the hole in the roof.
Yeah, there's a hole in the roof. So that was raining on stage, and I'm not kidding you, it was raining throughout the whole venue. There was a hole upstairs about this big. So, you know, we can't have that because, one, the water was hitting the stage box here. Now, stage boxes, you run 48 volt power to it so you can operate things. You know, if the water had kept hitting these things and it started raining, and fucking someone's gonna die, you know. So they're the thing. Look, we had to re-roof. There was no getting out of it. You could stick your hands through the gutters. There was a hole upstairs on the roof. Like, most of the damage that's been done and the things that we've been fixing, the things that could have been fixed 10 years ago. It's just caused more problems. Like the fucking stage wobbled. We had to go in and weld the stage to keep the fucking stage from falling in. You know, it doesn't sound like much, but people fucking dying on stage. Fuck. So, you know, we re-roofed. Like, that's you know, had to re-roof upstairs. We haven't even finished the fucking roofing, but it's not, we've got one leak in here now, in the entire, well, 2 leaks in the entire pub, which is you know, and once this weather improves, we'll have 0 leaks because we're going to fix it all. So it's things like that everything that we're doing, fuck, my phone's going off. Literally OH&S. Like, we have to do it. There's no ifs and buts. So, you know, it costs us money. So that was one of the things. I mean, and I'm not even talking the day-to-day problems of running a venue. A day-to-day fucking problem is out of control. Like, I'm sure, I think the only other people that could appreciate this are other people in hospitality or who own their own venues or their own business, where, you know, especially we operate on fucking margins of under 2%. Like, that's a ridiculous place to have an operating margin. And one thing goes wrong and you haven't made any money for the week, you've actually lost X amount of money. And that happens every week. Something fucks up, a fucking box goes out, fucking, you know, it's really tough. You know, and you've got to prioritise some things. You know, if things go wrong, something goes wrong and you can't operate, then you have to fix it. And, you know, yeah, it keeps me awake at night. But then, I don't know, we like, I'll show you the urinal situation, Gaz, because that's so cool. I mean, even walking through here, there's a million things that we've done that the electricals, I've still got problems with electricals. I've got to come through here and rip this up in 5 weeks and put a subboard in because of people's mistakes 30 years ago. So, you know, and it's not, I'm not angry at people do their best, and I'm not upset at anyone that's came before us or has worked here previously. Not upset about that, because it is really overwhelming, and to make the right decision and go through with the whole thing, sometimes it's just impossible. You end up doing a quick fix here, and that quick fix ends up becoming permanent, which is why I'm blessed to have a couple of people around me for when that little fucking thing does go through my fucking brain, that they stop me and they go, no, don't do that. And then I remind myself, oh shit, you can't do a quick fix if you're not going to do it. So I'm lucky to have some of the people around me that go, okay, like, this is not temporary, this is going to become permanent. But yeah, so no blame to anyone that's come before you. I understand. I understand everything. But some of the things I fucking don't understand either. But I mean, in here, we had to redo all the electricals in here. Like, these is where the front bar bands play. It was a fucking minefield. So we've rewired a lot of the pump. There's still a lot to go, and you know, we're going to have to put subboards in. Just watch yourself there, just to make it you can come through to make it work. No, to say that I have had a few indulgences in the pub as well.
Morning, Jake.
So basically, these toilets here, all the plumbing here would back up. If you had more than 150 people in the venue using the toilets, or this, it would literally come up through here, through the toilets, through here, and it would flood out into the band room. So what we ended up having to do.
Maybe say, I'm sorry if you've heard this before.
Yeah, I am. So, yeah, I'm sorry if you've heard this before. If you've actually watched the Better Totes and Gardens thing, because it's just, these are the things that have affected how we're getting the merch out. Because, like, if you really want to know the truth, for us to make a $10,000 profit, which is how much it's cost us, and that's just to get it fixed. That's not including all the time and manpower we had to come in with a plunger in the middle of the night to try and fix things. It doesn't include any of that, but we had to go out here. Dig all this up and that was in itself a headache. I wish that was filmed for Better Totes and Gardens, because that was a cracker. And we had to put a new boundary track in because the old boundary track was collapsed. So, you know, it's all that shit. Now, this is the roofing stuff. So this is the roofing stuff that's going to fix the last 2 leaks that we've got. And then we've got to finish the rest of the re-roof anyway, because it needs a new roof. It's all fucked up, but, you know, it needs all new guttering, capping, everything, flashing. So, you know, that's to do that. We've literally just been waiting for the weather to improve to do it, which, you know, costs money, costs time. So that's some of the things. I have had a couple of indulgences on the pub though, I won't lie. One of the indulgences is I did my lights out here. Now that's a money-making thing to make more money. So these are the things I'm trying to balance. There were no lights out here. There were these festoon lights here. And they were literally running with a fucking extension cord that just went under this fucking thing that leaked. So, you know, we've redid everything. So, and you know, made it so it looks good out here, so we can get some people out here. You know, every week I give away a couple $100 to feed people for free for barbecues. You know, we stupid, but I don't know what else was wrong, Gaz. There's a million things. There was fucking beer lines, fucking fucked. And I can't even get into it all. So, I don't know, if you want to go through and have it, like, what we've put up on Better Totes and Gardens is probably maybe 10% of the things that we've been doing in the pub.
Just don't get time to film
We just
it
don't
all.
get time to film it all, and the day-to-day operations on top. But
Tradies that don't want to get filmed.
tradies that don't want to
Yeah.
get filmed and all that stuff. So, look, it's a lot. It's a balancing act. We're doing our very best. It's your t-shirt's coming. But yeah, that's it. That's the sort of shit that we've been dealing with. You know, it's okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
We're prepared for that. That's okay.
It's our job, but yeah.
It is our job.
Thanks for a year at the Tote.
Yeah, thanks for the year at the Tote.
I feel like I'm more excited.
Well, it's been a fucking long year.
It's been a long year, so I feel like I'm excited about
You know,
next year.
yeah, and you know, a lot of the things that have affected us about getting merch out, you know, we just can't talk about. That's the other point as well. Like, we've had that many things go wrong. It's been the worst and best year of my life. It's probably been the longest year of my life because, it's a lot. But I don't know what else to say. Doing our best.
We are doing our best.
Haven't burnt the place down, surprisingly. Fucking should have burnt down, literally.
Well, it won't burn down now.
It won't burn down now.
Because we've got new electrics.
Yeah.
We've got a good electrician.
Yeah, look, just thank you. We hope that you can understand. We're going to put up some links through to some emails and such. So if your circumstances have changed and you have not received your stuff, and you know you've got a new mailing address or a new phone number, there's going to be an email. Now, we do just ask that you appreciate that a time thing. We've got one person that works on this, and they do a phone bang up job, and they will get to you. So it won't be an instant reply. But if you want to put all the information that has changed in the email, it will make life a lot easier for them. And yeah, look, thank you for your patience. Thank you for, hopefully your understanding of our...
Keep an eye on this.
Yeah, and keep an eye on this, for what's happening now. I think...
It's our best way to communicate with them.
Yeah, it's our best way and quickest way, because it just basically means that Gaz grabs me for half an hour and goes, fucking do this. And I go, okay. But that's kind of it. Thank you, everyone.
Here's to a few more years.
Fucking a few more years in the next 6 months. So
Feels like it.
It does. But anyway, thank you. I don't know, I feel like I've been negative through all this.
No, I don't think you've been
Defensive.
negative. I think we're just showing...
Honest.